At some point in everyone's life, hopefully, they have held a pencil. They may have even drawn a little stick figure with it, or a classic sun in the corner, or maybe even this weird-ass thing that everyone somehow knows about. Well, this simple drawing utensil is my life's passion, and I have been drawing since before my brain started recording memories. I have never attended any formal education for the arts, unless you count YouTube University. I have learned everything else from trial and error. I like to think I've picked up a few tricks, and I do not intend to be stingy with them. Welcome to the premiere episode of a series tailored exclusively for beginner pencil artists. My name is Twilsey, and I primarily draw portraits, but I will be showing you methods that can help you draw a variety of subjects, from still life to character design. Prepare for a thorough journey as I leave no technique unexplored and no stone unturned. My goal is to equip you with skills and confidence, leading to your ability to create art that reflects your growth and dedication. This is your beginner class in pencil drawing. The list of materials needed for today's lesson is quite short. You will only need a pencil of any brand, eraser is not required, and a piece of blank paper. Lined paper is not the best in most cases, but it will work for the purposes of today's class. First, let's briefly talk about how to hold a pencil. Some people say that there is a right and a wrong way to hold a pencil, but everyone's hands are shaped differently, and what is comfortable for some may not be for others. Generally, though, holding the pencil with your fingertips very close to the point gives you more control and precision. This is best for achieving very sharp and accurate lines. Holding the pencil by the end may be less accurate, but it does still have important uses in shading, as do all the positions in between. It may seem rudimentary, but do some scribbles while holding your pencil in all of these different ways and get comfortable doing so. Focus your attention on how different the strokes look as you shift your hold on the pencil. Next, we will talk reference photos. Practicing using references is absolutely vital for all artists, but especially for beginners. As a novice, you will find it very difficult to draw anything from imagination, and this is because you have not yet built up your mental reference image library. It takes time and consistent practice with references to be able to draw from imagination, and you will never stop needing them. Choosing your reference image as a beginner is not something I have seen discussed often in the online artist communities. Every little thing to do with art, or at least in my case, is its own separate skill. I have a video on how to sharpen charcoal pencils because that is a whole thing by itself. I believe choosing a reference photo is the same, so I'd like to help you to know what to look for and be less overwhelmed with the billions of photos on the internet to choose from. I often see beginners choose very difficult reference photos, but they of course don't know why it's difficult. First, I must define some basic terms for you that you'll be hearing regularly in all of my videos. Values are the range of tones from black through various shades of gray and then to white. The best example for this is a simple grayscale. Contrast is the degree of difference in these values, high contrast having sharper, more defined values. Here are two lovely portrait photos. Which of these do you think would be the easier reference image to draw? This photo is the better choice for a beginner for a few reasons. This photo has these very dark shadows on the side of her face, which are easy to break down into shapes. The contrast of the dark versus the light side of her face will help you see what values you need to work towards. I also recommend starting with photos where the subject is facing the camera like this. A symmetrical reference makes it easier to spot the differences. Let's talk about this photo for a moment and why it is not ideal for a beginner. You can see there are visible shadows on the face, but they are all a similar value with nearly zero dark shapes. At first, you'll want to avoid photos with a bright light directly in front of the subject. The lack of contrast will make it difficult to get your values right. On a related note, beginners should become familiar with editing their reference images as needed. This doesn't mean you have to go buy Photoshop. The basic photo editing tools on your smartphone or PC is all you need. The most common thing you'll find yourself changing is the saturation, which just means how much color is in the photo. It's much easier to follow the values in your reference when it has been converted to a grayscale image in this way. Simply find the setting in your editing options and drag the sliding bar so that all the color disappears. Most of the time this is all you will need to do, but sometimes you'll find a reference image that you want to draw that isn't of the best of quality. Adjusting the exposure and contrast will brighten and sharpen your photo, making it more defined and usable as a reference. Spend a few minutes playing around with your image editing software if you haven't already and get to know the different settings. And last, we come to the art of practice. There is a wrong way to practice. Drawing the same random doodles isn't going to get you anywhere. Proper practice involves using references, trying a specific exercise, or doing several studies of something that you know you're bad at. The main challenge in art is the lack of consistency needed to practice effectively and make actual progress. You will have to decide for yourself what this means for you, and make time to practice every day. Some of the best words of wisdom I have ever heard were, "Practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent." If you forget to follow techniques you learn here, take notes and keep them nearby to remind you while you're practicing. Take things step by step. You must learn how to do so many things before being able to create a full portrait. Dedicate sessions to one specific part of the face, such as the hair or the eyes. Or you can go even smaller if you're struggling with something specific like eyelashes. I take a great deal of pride in the art I create because I may have worked on a drawing for several hours, but it took hundreds of hours of practice and struggling to get to the level of skill to make me capable of that. This may be the end of the video, but it's just the start for us. I have no idea how long this beginner class series will be. I'm just going to keep making videos until I can't think of any more fundamentals to teach you, and then on to the intermediate class. Remember, becoming proficient in portrait drawing is a marathon, not a sprint. Keep practicing regularly. Don't be discouraged by failure. I have a much larger stack of failed drawings than successful ones. If you found value in this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't be absent in my next class. Join me on Twitch every weekend for live drawing sessions. It's a laid-back atmosphere where you can just drop in and chat and ask questions while I work on my latest drawing. I hope to see you there.